All right, everybody. Hello, hello, and welcome to another fabulous match of the Hollow Knight All Skills Tournament. This is a round 3 match between Pharest and Taco. My name is Herm. I'll be one of your commentators for today, and joining me on the mic is Rhino.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all.
So we will be setting up, counting everybody down. Important things to note at the beginning of the run. So both of these runners have been running all skills for only a bit. Pharest started all skills in January of this year, but also has been speedrunning Hollow Knight for about 2 years now. So his PB is a very respectable 50:49. And then Taco is also quite new to Hollow Knight speedrunning in general, and his PB is a 58:30. So we will see in the end in this tournament, anything is possible. A death can happen in many places, but hopefully we'll see great play. Oh, holy cow. We'll see great play from both players. My phone just decided to be really loud for a second there. Sorry about that, chat.
You gotta hate when that happens. I'm currently, so it looks like Pharest is ready. Okay, Taco is typing. Looks like they'll be ready in a second. But yeah, on the topic of Pharest not running this category for a while, and I believe he's one of the other people in this tournament from the community who, like you said, already a very good established runner that just started running all skills for the tournament, I believe. So anything could really happen there. I know Pharest already has a 33 in any percent, which is a very coveted time in the community. Yes. So definitely a skilled, experienced runner. But it looks like both runners are ready. So I'm going to go ahead and count them down.
Yes, so we'll be counting them down. Important note, this is a patch 1221 race, which is the speedy patch for pretty much all Hollow Knight categories. We'll be pointing out the differences from the current patch of the game there. We also run in simplified Chinese, which one of my dear frequent commentary partners, Virgil, is fluent in. So if she's in chat, maybe she'll point some things out, but it's just the language in which text scrolls fastest. So that's sort of our setup, and then we'll see them starting here real soon once stream delay happens.
Yeah, so I have given the runners the countdown, so we're just waiting on the delay now. We'll see when they get kicked off. I've said this before, but for like my first few comms I was doing, I would like count it out loud as I was doing it, and I realized, oh, it's really anticlimactic because there's like a 30. So like maybe I just stopped doing that entirely.
Yeah, with all the stream delay and stuff, that was something I had to learn as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's Taco. Inventory dropping, and we open that. We pause the game at the beginning to get early control, and then we inventory drop, which is a 1221 special. It uncaps our fall speed and cancels hard fall animation. So real nice. We are here in King's Pass. They will sort of be hopping around this tutorial area. We'll probably see a sync from the folks at SpeedGaming here, and then when the first runner gets to the door, we will tell our first knock-knock joke.
And yeah, just to note that the inventory drop mechanic you explained there, that's something that viewers can expect to see very frequently throughout this race. We use it in a lot of different places, as you said, to fall faster and to avoid hard falling. So if you're ever wondering why the runners keep opening their menus, that's the explanation there.
Yes. Okay.
52 Rhino, out of Taco. Knock. Speedy. Who's there?
Delicate Flower.
Delicate Flower who?
Oh, I'm sorry. The knock destroyed it. The Delicate Flower is quite delicate, and knocking on doors is not going to do it any favors.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. As always, shoutouts to Sloran for writing 26 of these for Virgil and I, which we've shared around with some of our other commentary partners. Yes, much love to Sloran for those. And now they're going to head into Crossroads.
Yeah, so 1:15 into that well is a pretty good fast standard time from both runners. I know you had mentioned Taco has been a little rusty, not running as much as he maybe would have liked to before this. So I'm curious to see what kind of run he puts up here. Getting hit there in the Gruzzer drop is always not fun. That's completely RNG, unfortunately, but not going to be too
just
big
a little
of a time
irking.
loss. Yeah, it's more of a mental annoyance than an actual time loss. It's very frustrating at the start of the run to just take that hit, but
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing as this trick of here, double spike, which Pharest just got. And
Ooh.
Taco missed one. That can also be a little bit irritating because obviously in a race, you can't just be like, all right, I haven't put enough into this, I'm resetting.
Time to
You just
reset,
gotta go
yeah.
forward.
Yeah, definitely. Really well executed from Pharest there.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, this VS split has been essentially made optimized down to a science and very practiced, as you have to do it at the start of every single run in pretty much all the categories. We, like some of the other categories, will not see a full kill of False Knight here. We're just sort of gonna hit him through one cycle and run away to get our first spell.
Yeah, at least up to False Knight, most main leaderboard categories are identical, minus maybe a few small variations, but pretty much anybody who runs any category of this game is familiar with these sections.
Yes. And so, yeah, we'll just be heading over there, sort of going around and over these enemies, but it'll be very quick. As Virgil said, commentating the last race, we're gonna just sort of high five False Knight and say goodbye. But we do have to high five him 13 times to knock him down, and then 8 times once his squishy head appears. Some RNG here as well.
Pharest got decent RNG there. He got a backwards jump and a forwards jump. Taco also starting with a back jump. And 2 back jumps. It's probably the worst RNG you can get, but handles it very well. Not too much trouble there.
Yes. And as we can see, Pharest taking that Devon-Tedded shortcut. Team Cherry understood that some players might not be equipped. I tried to take that shortcut in my first playthrough, but couldn't find it. And so I ended up beating the boss after 20 tries.
I gotta be honest, I didn't know that shortcut existed till I started speedrunning. I had no idea.
Yeah, I just couldn't figure out how to make it happen, but thankfully it's easy to learn once you know how it works. And there's VS for Pharest.
Yeah, 332. That's a pretty fast vengeful spirit
really
out of
nice.
Pharest. Yeah. Taco will see about a 340-ish, 340. Yeah, so about an 8-second lead for Pharest early on here.
Yeah. And it makes a lot of sense with Pharest, any percent experience.
Absolutely.
Such a veteran in that category. So
yeah, going for the fireball, I don't see a lot of runners do that. Just shoot the fireball to get extra Geo on that husk and break the 2 planks simultaneously.
yeah. I mean, in this category early on, we'll see a lot. Geo is something we have to consider very carefully. We need to get scammed by Nailmaster Oro quite early, which costs us 800 Geo. An absolute scam. However, very valuable because it allows us to do some great skips. And that's, I think, was that first or second spit for Pharest?
I think I was watching Taco, unfortunately, but I think it was first or second. It seemed very quick.
Yeah.
And Taco gets first spit. Very nice.
Yeah, those boulders can really sit and troll you. I believe our tournament record is 11 consecutive infection spits.
Oh my god. I if that happened to me, I think I would just forfeit and just call it a race.
Yeah, talk about
tilting.
Mentally irking right there.
That would be so tilting. Oh my goodness. So in this next room Pharest is in, we need to get 6 hits of soul to both get the quick kill on the Balder in the next room and have enough soul left over for the first fireball skip. It saves about 3 seconds, so it's very worth going for.
Yeah, Green Path, pretty much this segment coming up here is a lot about just sort of gathering and managing soul. You'll see Pharest do the first fireball skip here. Very nice. But we need to do 2 more of those before we say hi to our pal Hornet.
Yeah, and Green Path, for being so early on in the run, it's a brutally difficult split. Even for top runners, there's a lot of small optimizations that are hard to be consistent with, and of course the fireball skips for new runners are incredibly difficult. So it's very it's very bullying to have this difficult of a split right in the beginning of a run, but most runs have to take this path to get Mothwing Cloak early. Yeah,
and as we'll talk about, I mean, Crystal Peaks is definitely up there, but this is also one of the worst places to die. It's not always particularly threatening, but Pharest did take a death here. in his last race, though seems to be much better right now, at least so far, with that fireball skip looking good.
Yeah, very well executed from both. But yeah, like you were saying, dying. The unfortunate thing about Green Path is there's no shortcuts to be open along the way. There's no bosses. Like if you die in Green Path,
Right.
or especially the Hornet, you're just redoing the entire split all over again. It's a massive time loss.
Yes, most certainly. Pharest not getting that skip on the first try, but is able to just get some soul and do it again, thanks to that convenient totem.
Yeah, and Taco's gonna have to get an extra hit here to do the fire, unless he can do a 1 fireball skip. But okay, it doesn't look like he's gonna try it. Yeah. Yeah, fun fact for people who don't know, every single one of the fireball skips in this split can be done with 1 fireball. It's just much tighter and it doesn't really save any time. So there's not a ton of value in it.
Yeah, and you saw Pharest right there. That's another instance of pretty precise soul collection. Those Moss Knights die in 3 fireballs, and a nail hit will be saying hi to some more of them soon. But it did look like Pharest got a nice double back there, which brings it down to 2 fireballs. Always nice to see.
Yeah, Pharest having a really good split here so far. I believe, yeah, 148's a good geo count here.
Yeah, really nice. And now we're going down to the famous all skills Moss Knights with their accompanying Geo Rocks. We'll see what kind of RNG does not look like the good
Pharest didn't get the good RNG, unfortunately, but he handles it well. Oh, he did. One of his fireballs must have not hit. Oh my goodness, he could die here.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
this would
he
be
got
quite.
bullied.
I mean, I think that this may just, we'll take a heal here. Wise choice. Not wanting to take a death to Hornet 1 for the second race in a row.
And I think that's a good example of when, you know, if you're streaming on your own and going for PB attempts, you probably don't heal there. You just say, well, if I die, then whatever. But obviously in a race, we need to be a bit more careful about how we choose our engagement. So really smart of Pharest to take the heal there, even though it loses soul.
Yeah.
Taco gets much nicer knights, by the way.
Oh yeah, nice Taco. This Hornet fight is very based on sort of getting in those hits, getting that pattern as quickly as possible, and bullying Hornet as much as you can. So taking a heal can be a little disruptive to that rhythm and to your speed. So
yeah, absolutely.
Good fight from Pharest there.
Yeah, he did well. He didn't need to heal, but I'm personally very glad he did, just in case. But about an 804 Mothwing Cloak pickup, that's not too terrible, especially for a tournament type of setting.
Yeah.
Taco dealing with it. He had 3 HP coming in, it looked like, unless I missed a hit.
Yeah, I believe so. And so now Pharest will be heading into the Fungal Wastes, where we grab our Mantis Claw. We'll be doing a whole bunch of inventory drops, and then heading on down. And looks like, Taco gets through Hornet just fine. We'll be able to get to Cloak.
Yeah, Mantis Claw probably being one of my favorite segments, and I think most runners as well. It's a movement heavy segment early on, and there's very little, if any, RNG at all. So it very much it feels very much like it's in the runner's hands with not much that can get in their way of doing something poorly. Even tricks like E-Pogo and Mantis Pogo have very, very consistent setups. So I love this segment. I love watching other runners do it.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's one of those things where since we don't yet have a wall jump, we're able to slide down those walls and just move in really precise ways. And it looks like from Rixian, time update, they are 41 seconds apart at the Cloak split, with Pharest making a 29-second gap open up in Green Path.
Yeah, that's a good Green Path in Pharest. Not much else to say about that.
For sure. Yes.
So coming up to E-Pogo now, I'm curious to see which variant of E-Pogo Pharest goes for.
There are so many.
There's so many now, and we're just. I think Murray, another runner, also posted a couple more in Discord today. Oh, Pharest goes for the Murray Pogo. Very nice.
Yeah, Wii Pogo.
Goes for Wii Pogo. It's a very swag strat. Friend. Yeah. I haven't learned that E-Pogo yet. I think it doesn't. On top of that's bad from Pharest actually. Taking a hit there is gonna throw off his. What a save!
Gets
Oh
it.
my goodness.
That was a good save right there.
What a
Really
save from
smart.
Pharest. I mean, that's
Yeah, just to show. That's adaptability right there.
that is Pharest experience coming in right there. Because I don't know how I would have saved that, to be honest. Like, that was really, really well done.
Yeah, I mean, it's just showing what it means to be a veteran, like having
Yeah.
seen probably every situation under the sun and being able to say, okay, even though it's crazy, I've still done this before and I can pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've often said that you don't really know a category until you know all the ways that everything can go wrong. And
Yeah,
that's an example right there. And Taco doing the standard Pogo,
very nice.
the very nice consistent setup. It's what I'd say probably 99% of runners go for. Getting it
Yeah,
first try is nice.
always good. And now Forest will be heading through the Going Room again and towards Salubra, hopefully not making the mistake of autopiloting to VS, which happens quite rarely, but is always hilarious.
There's also the
autopilot
of
VS too.
There's also the autopilot of going back down to Manus Claw for a second time, because why not? I have definitely done that in my time running. Yeah, unfortunately, Taco had to go around on Mantis Pogo, but Pharest making his way over to Gruzmother. We want to go into this fight with 6 hits of soul, so we can start out with 3 nail cancels. There's 1, 2, and 3. 6 hits of soul, and then the 3 nail hits we do give us the 3rd fireball. And then from there, it's 6 hits on Gruzmother for a nice quick kill. Pharest does it textbook.
And we'll see. We'll now have an assessment of Pharest's janitorial skills, as he must clean up Gruzmother's 8 children.
That's a great cleanup.
Yeah, really, really nice. So now we can head over to Salubra and buy our favorite charm as speedrunners, which is the Shaman Stone. It massively beefs all of our spells. The only charm we use this run, and it is super, super good.
Yeah, it's super useful. It on top of making all of our spells do a lot more damage, it also makes things like Vengeful Spirit and Shade Soul much bigger, meaning it's easier to get doubles, it's easier to hit things. So a very, very valuable, cost-efficient charm for what it is. I mean,
Yes.
it's very good.
And Pharest taking that intentional death, unfortunately, it is not out of any sort of desire to even up the race by dying. This is for the shade skip you're seeing right here.
Pharest
does
having a little
get
trouble,
a little
though, yeah.
trolled, yeah.
There
is
we go.
able to get it on that sort of second go around and won't lose too much time heading into the Blue Lake. And then Taco is going to beat up Gruzmother now.
And Taco also having a... Oh, there we go. Good kill.
Yeah, real nice.
We will also see Taco's janitorial skills now, too.
Yeah, Bubba Roo pointing out that it is really, really common to die just outside of Salubra's shop. It's one of the most difficult areas in the game for speedrunners.
It's really hard. I mean, I think even world record dies there. It's really difficult, so it's hard to expect anybody not
People
to die
preach
there.
about a deathless run, but it's just because they want to ignore the pain of constantly dying outside of Salubra's shop on each attempt.
Really, really difficult spot, but both our runners making it through here. So Pharest coming into city now. So this segment is all about just collecting the last little bit of geo we need before we absolutely get scammed for dash slash.
Yes.
Dash slash costs 800 geo. I don't know how much the other nail arts cost, but oh wait, they're free.
Well,
they're free.
They are free. Oro
as they should be.
His nail art out of the goodness of his heart.
That's
Chio
right.
gives you his nail art at the cost of what's presumably a painting lesson. And I said Oro, I meant Motto on the first one. And then Oro scams you by charging 800 geo. However, as somebody pointed out earlier in chat, it is kind of worth 800 geo in this run specifically because of all the skips we can do with it. But in a casual playthrough, or in my casual playthrough in which I did not even know how to use the nail arts well, it is completely useless.
I didn't know how to use nail arts or spells, really, to be honest, in my casual playthrough.
Yeah. This is the gorgeous husk. I am personally of the persuasion that it is, while it is not gorgeous, it is very rich, and that is a gorgeous thing for us, because we can pick up the very dank 420 geo, and now head over to get scammed by Oro. Probably we're going to be farming some hoppers along the way. We usually do, to get to that 800.
Yeah, you'll see most runners farm the first 2 rows of geo. Even if runners have a lot of geo and they don't need the second row, you'll see most experienced runners go for it anyway, because shortly after this segment, we're going to need another 300 geo to open up King Station's tag. So it's better to just get a head start on that geo early, which you're going to need anyway.
Exactly, and those hoppers are very rich creatures, because they drop 16 geo apiece, which I always found to be quite high for an enemy that just sort of jumps around, but it's great for us, especially when they're all sort of in a line and we can VS them cleanly. But it looks like, according to Rixian, they're still about a minute apart.
Really nice.
Sort of heading around.
Pharest there handled that well. Herm, are you sure you don't run this category? Because I swear you know more about certain details than I do. Like, I gotta be honest, I didn't know how much geo they dropped. I'm not even joking.
Oh, see, fun fact is that when I did my casual playthrough of Hollow Knight, I ended up memorizing swaths of the wiki, and also just remembering a lot of details. So I have never speedrun Hollow Knight, but boy, do I have a lot of useless knowledge that I am happy to apply in these situations.
Yeah. A lot of people in the community often make fun of me because my game knowledge, like outside of speedrunning itself, my game knowledge is atrocious. Like people will be like, "Oh, just go to like you know, like this part of the map." I'm like, I have no idea how to get there. Like it's not part of a speedrun route. I don't know.
And there's dash slash for Pharest. So at this point, we're going to be quitting back to the lovely bench we took in King's Station, and we're going to be heading up and around into this side of the city that most people start in their casual playthrough. And we're going to use that dash slash pretty much right when we're through all this movement to get Shade Soul, which is our upgraded Vengeful Spirit. And with our Shaman Stone, it deals 40 damage on a hit, which means if we do double hits, it's dealing 80 damage, and that is pretty insane for a lot of the bosses we're going to be fighting, especially Soulmaster coming up. So it's a real good deal.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, it's 800 geo, but it's totally worth every penny of it to us on 1221 runners. We're gonna see the first lever skip right here from Pharest. You see him hitting that lever through the floor, and that allows us to travel through this room. Of course, oh, he got lost. Okay. That room stays dark because we don't go through it the intended way, so the game never hits the trigger to light up that room. So most runners have just learned to navigate that little quick section in the dark. It saves a tremendous amount of time versus going around.
Because in current patch, you have to do a very painful arena in which you fight a great Husk Sentry, which has so much health and a shield and does 2 mass damage, and it is just a painful, painful thing to experience. But yeah, Pharest entering that other side of the city, as Taco managing to not get bullied too much by the Grey Hoppers. Yes, very good.
Yes, we love to see grub saving. Oh. Pharest choosing to go for a fireball and 3 nail hits. Okay. Some runners shoot 2 fireballs there. Some try and get a fireball and a couple nail hits. I'm a 2 fireball person. Just don't want to deal with having to chase him down and hit him with my nail.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to see the first functional use of dash slash here as we use it to skip that door and hit that lever through the wall, allowing us to get Shade Soul very easily and early on.
Yeah, it skips so much. We skip saving Sly, getting Shopkeeper's Key, getting another key, and fighting a Soul Warrior by doing just that. So it is probably one of the biggest routing differences between current patch and 1221. And it's just such a damage upgrade early on.
Yeah, definitely. It makes the Soul Master fight tremendously easier with the heavily increased damage output for this fight. So definitely a big advantage in 1221 here.
Yeah, and as you'll see coming up from Pharest as well, it actually lets us skip a very painful room, the so-called Hell Room in Soul Sanctum. But here's a Soul Warrior. This is the one that we do fight. I believe it has 180 hit points. I could be wrong on that. But it dies quite quickly under our Shade Souls, and we're able to just sort of continue on.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number of health it has, but I know it's 4 fireballs, or Shade Souls, and 4 nail hits. Usually runners get double hits, so they fire 2 fireballs that
Yeah,
double.
that's exactly
the first
180.
one.
I
Cool.
did it. Yeah.
See, this is my speedrunner game knowledge. I don't know the numbers. I just know how many hits.
Exactly. And Virgil remarking in the chat that in simplified Chinese, your nail is called something that translates directly to bone screw. So
Bones.
apparently, we are beating up all of these bosses, gathering soul with a bone screw. I think that's pretty metal.
I like it, right? We're gonna
Yeah,
see
that's
Pharest
great.
here shooting 2 fireballs. Oh, and he gets a double on the first one, and he broke the soul jars open too, so I would expect this fight to be over very quickly here.
Yeah. For a boss that gives a lot of people trouble casually, this fight is comically fast. Just on the basis of having so much more damage. And it seems Taco's entering Sanctum now, so they are approximately like most of a Sanctum apart, though not quite, as unfortunately picking up this spell, Desolate Dive, after Soulmaster's second phase does hard save us, so we need to make our way out on foot.
Yeah, Pharest here might start shooting fireball. Yep, gets a hit there. One more should do it. Good fight from Pharest. Nice. Yeah, there's a bit of RNG in the second phase there, depending on how many dives Soulmaster decides to do, if he decides to fake you out. But there are things that us runners know how to do to mitigate a little bit of that RNG, and Pharest displaying it really well there for a nice quick kill.
Yeah, excellent work from him. And yeah, there's the sync. So they are one spell pickup apart. With Taco grabbing Shade Soul and Pharest grabbing Desolate Dive, which is going to be pretty important in that while it does pretty decent damage, but we're not going to be using it for damage because we have a great Shade Soul. But we will be upgrading it, and it'll be our bread and butter against the Watcher Knights. Though right now it's mostly a movement item. It's going to get us into the next section, which is Crystal Peaks.
Yeah, D-Dark does a ton of damage. It gives us a lot of iframes. You know, you'll see it used in pretty much every boss fight for the rest of the game. But mostly dive itself before we upgrade it to D-Dark. Mostly used for movement. And again, as you mentioned earlier, it's another reason that we don't need to save Sly in this category, because we can get into peaks without Lantern by diving in.
Yeah, and that is a huge save of Geo, because Lantern is a whopping 1800 Geo, and that is part of the reason that we don't actually say hi to Relic Seeker Lem once in this entire category, because we don't need to. We have all the Geo we need from our existing farming, because other than Soul Sanctum, we spend very little time in this area of the city at all.
I just wanted to point out real quick, that little lamp pogo that Pharest did was super cool. I had never seen that before.
Yeah, I was watching Taco, but good stuff.
Pharest good on Geo here. He's gonna
really nice.
He doesn't need any more. That's really nice. It's so, as a speedrunner, it's always an annoying feeling to dive through the glass in this next section here and have to stop and waste time collecting a little more Geo for King Station. So really good to already be over 300 for Pharest.
Exactly. And we'll be taking that bench. That bench is why it is so terrible to die in Crystal Peaks, because we want to keep that bench until we save and quit back to it at the end of the peak split. Because it is very important. We want to just head right up and fight Watcher Knights. We don't want to delay or anything. And so if you die in Crystal Peaks, you're respawning all the way back there, and you have a very long trip. Taco is on one mask against Soulmaster. Hopefully things end up fine for him. Okay, we'll be able to take a heal during that long scream.
Yeah, getting a heal when you're on 1 HP there and you finish that first phase with enough soul to heal, it's kind of like a giant weight off your chest, just knowing, okay, I'm not gonna die on my next hit. I can breathe a little bit here.
Yeah, exactly.
Taco going for the up slash strategy. It's difficult to pull off, but it's personally my method of choice. We'll see what happens. Oh, 1 HP.
But gets it, so in the end it is good to be picking up that dive.
Yeah, sure is.
Which does refill your soul meter, so if he wants to take another heal, he can.
Right. And I would definitely expect to see Taco heal at least once, maybe twice here.
Yeah, most certainly. That's something you'll actually see runners consider that filling up with the soul meter before Howling Wraiths. If you get through that Squid arena and you get kind of bullied, you can pretty much heal her free as you get full soul when you pick up that spell. So it's just kind of a nice thing that can have, some positive ramifications. And Soul Sanctum is a soul-rich place, as the name
Definitely.
states. So it's no worries here getting soul back.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're closer to 3 minutes apart out of the Desolate Dive split.
Yeah, so Pharest now heading into the other movement heavy section we were talking about not too long ago, Crystal Peaks. Most of the rooms here are very little RNG, but very heavily cycle based for optimal movement. Yes. So it's a fun split to watch. It's a fun split to do. There's some cool tricks like Pogax and the super impossible to do underplat that nobody can even do.
If we see it, we will be so lucky.
Yeah, I know. Everyone in chat's gonna have to say woo if they
underplat woo.
Underplat woo. Going for Pogax here. Let's see.
For the Pogax.
Makes it look easy.
Yeah, again. Really nice. It is a super cool looking trick. Definitely kind of a swag strat, but fun if you get it and saves a few seconds. So nice from Pharest here. But yeah, this is just all about staying on cycle, especially you'll see later, but coming up relatively soon in this split on the platforming to Crystal Heart. There's cycles that you really want to stay on to get through cleanly.
Yeah, definitely. The entire Crystal Heart room is one giant cycle that, as runners, we've kind of figured out very consistent ways to get through without slowing down, but it's still... if you get off cycle, the room suddenly goes from very trivial and easy to incredibly difficult and time lossy.
Yeah, it is very much true. And so we'll be seeing that. Taco heading out of Watcher's Spire, feeling fine, having health, all that good stuff. Probably a good feeling.
Good geo count. Good geo count too.
And then here is this Crystal Heart room. You'll see at the beginning we use that dash slash as a fun air stall. And then there's a damage tank cycle that is faster, and then a damage list cycle, which is where Pharest is at now.
Yeah, Pharest goes for damage lists. I feel like most runners in the tournament setting do go for damage lists, because unlike in any percent where we pick up Crystal Heart and save and quit out immediately, in all skills we still have to keep our same health all the way through a dark room, through Crystal Mound, and a couple other areas, the crushers, areas that it's very easy to get hit if you're not careful. So I totally respect runners wanting to keep as much health as they can here.
Yes, absolutely. And first of all, underplat woo.
Underplat woo.
Second of all, I mean, most certainly, with that damage tank at the end of the split that saves, I believe, close to 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's a massive time
save. Through the early control, it's just one of those things where, like, if Green Path is sort of the split where you're like, oh my gosh, soul management, this is the one where it's like, oh my gosh, health management.
Absolutely.
Because we also will see as well, and this should be pretty good for Pharest as an experienced runner, but something that really can give new runners trouble at times is a dark room that we have to go through since we do not have lantern. That was some swag walking.
There's swag walking. Yeah, that's a really nice walking storage. Yeah, so there's many different ways to go through this dark room. Pharest doing the optimal, which is just holding right and dashing the entire time with some very well-timed jump dashes. There are strats that are a bit safer where we just C-dash through the room, but they do lose a little bit of time. So most top runners you'll see doing the dash strategy.
And then this is the Crystallized Mound. We're going to be climbing up here. Pharest, totally good on health. Getting those nice pogos in, and then what you'll see is 7 hits on the Shaman right here, and then we'll go in and break that wall, and then the 8th hit will be a dash slash, which will slide Pharest all the way down, causing him to damage tank and get early control.
Yeah, that was an incredibly nice segment from Pharest.
Yeah, really smooth right there.
Yeah. Like, he got good crusher cycles, he got a good dark room, he got the swag wall cling storage, he got the pogo and crystallized mound. I mean, everything going right there.
Yeah, really great work. And now, I mean, Crystal Peak, certainly a place known for its difficult platforming, but we're going to see some of the toughest stuff in the entire run right here, the Dream Nail cutscene. Runners will have to hop through various segments, and by various I mean one, because we C-dash the rest of the way, and then we see the secondary underplat. will be coming up here soon. But
Yes.
I remember I fell an embarrassing number of times in the Dreamnail cutscene on my first
Oh no.
playthrough because I had a Switch with a really severe Joy-Con drift, and it was
Oh
just,
goodness.
ooh. But that fall is intentional right there from Pharest. It just makes the seer show up a little bit faster, get back from her lunch break, and be willing to say hi to us.
Yeah, and also because we use a loadless timer for this run, when we do have to respawn after falling there, it pauses the timer temporarily. So that's a little trick we utilize to save some time.
Yes, absolutely. And then
And
this is
we
the
get it.
mini underplat.
Nice.
Ooh.
Underplat to Electric Boogaloo. Very well done from Pharest. So now finally, we can save and quit out back to that bench we stored many moons ago, all the way back in Spire, after all this trouble.
I figure that the seer goes into the dream world for lunch from the question in chat.
Ooh, Taco got off cycle here. This is going to
Yeah,
be
that is
difficult
what we
to
were
save.
talking about with being off cycle in this room. It can be quite brutal
Yeah.
because it's just very disorienting. You can't really see the lasers ahead of you as well. So it just is
Yeah.
sort of a lot of playing it by ear. But Taco's able to get through it. No underplat, and quite reasonably so on 2
Yeah.
masks. So we cannot underplat Wu in this case, but able to pick up that crystal heart, and that's really what we're all about.
I would absolutely expect to see 2 heals here from Taco, maybe even 3.
Yes.
The only reason maybe 2 is because we need at least 1. We need 3 hits for a spell to get into Crystallized Mound because we need to break the floor with dive.
Yeah, and it's really up to him, as there is a soul totem out
and
there,
there it
but
is,
keeping
yeah.
that soul is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here
We'll
are the
see.
Watcher Knights from Pharest.
There's night 1.
Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for attending. But yeah, so these guys are significantly easier than their any percent or low percent counterparts, in that we have Descending Dark and Shade Soul, but mostly Descending Dark, as they die in 2 3/4 Descending Darks apiece. And looks like they're being a little bit roly-poly trolly, but the slash is the RNG you want to be seeing here, and Pharest gets through it.
Yeah, especially for a top runner like Pharest, D-Dark makes that I hate using the term free, but it makes that fight somewhat trivial. Just keep spamming D-Dark and live inside of your iframes.
It does have to deal with some damage tanking, but yeah.
That's true.
Taco in a mound.
Taco in the mound now. Good Dark Room. 4 HP
stuff.
here should be safe.
Yeah, same as Pharest. Should be just fine as long as all goes well. It's pretty clean through here. But if you start getting tripped up, you can get a bit bullied. But looks great from Taco. We'll be able to go through and get that early control. And Pharest is beating up Lurian. Yes, more than 1 health. In his previous race, Taco unfortunately autopiloted into the early control on 1 mask and died. So I'm sure he's quite happy to be able to do that as intended on this go around.
Definitely. Alright, so there's the first Dreamer. This next section we're going to see coming up from Pharest is one of the more technically difficult sections of All Skills Run, where we have to do a series of somewhat tricky acid skips using C-Dash. First being the Spike Tunnel skip, where we pogo this, where in the broken elevator room we pogo the spikes and dash through to skip fighting Dung Defender to get into Ismas. And then we need to do 2 more acid skips. So if there's any place that, you know, maybe something crazy could happen to turn some time in this run, maybe it's here.
Yeah, it is very true. These skips, the Spike Tunnel skip is very difficult, as are the acid skips, but what really makes it also tough is that you have to pretty much execute all of them in a row. There is opportunity for some soul gathering between the Spike Tunnel and the first of the 2 acid skips, but other than that, it's quite tough. So hopefully this will go well for Pharest. If I remember correctly, Taco did take a death here in his first race, but I believe he has substantially chopped time off his PB since then. But Pharest looking great so far.
Taco just did the underplat part 2. You love to see that. Pharest not shooting a fireball there. I'm not brave enough to not shoot a fireball there. One of those worms can be in your way in that acid dash, and then it
Yeah.
hits you, then you fall into the acid, and just like that, you take 2 damage, and it can be really scary. So I always shoot a fireball there, even if I don't really have any reason to believe there's a Whormp in the way.
Yeah, it may have just been a hesitancy to collect soul, but that Whormp right there, that is a Whormp we do want to hit us because
Yeah.
it gives us early control and lets us run away. Folks asking in chat how Pharest is comparing to his PB. I believe Pharest has a very, very good PB, 50, 50, 48, I believe. So this is likely not PB face for him, but I'm
Yeah.
sure he's quite happy with his performance so far in a race setting, and considering that both of his last 2 races involved deaths, this is looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, and I believe that's a PB he just got like a day or 2 ago as well. It's
Yeah.
a very, very fresh PB from Pharest, so.
And Taco's heading up, gonna say hello to those Watcher Knights, hitting down that chandelier. We didn't quite mention that in the first go around, but it kills a knight permanently. Really nice, saves a bunch of time, so you only have to fight 5. But Pharest is coming up on the Basin Toll Bench, which we do some more sort of loadless timer manipulation to save a bit of time with that going down, and we'll go to fight the Broken Vessel.
Yeah, especially on loadless. I don't know about real time, but for loadless time, it's much faster to just leave the room and re-enter than to wait for the bench animation, for those who aren't aware.
Yeah, most certainly.
Oh,
so Taco getting good RNG, but also a bit of bullying from the Watcher Knights.
Yeah, he got really good RNG on that second phase. That's exactly what we want as runners. We want to see both those knights standing very close to, if not on top of each other, so that D-Dark can get a lot of hits on both of them.
Yeah, you really want both of them sort of slashing in, Oro and Mato style. I have long called Oro and Mato the discount Watcher Knight.
The
for
discount Watcher Knight. I like that.
Yeah. But Pharest is able to go through the smaller room, which is also sort of a bit of cycles and RNG at times. But looks good so far, and then this little movement trick gets as well. So looks like a
first try basin skip. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on this Broken Vessel fight here, these little light seeds that pop out of the ground, the fight doesn't start until all of them have either entered the Broken Vessel's head or been destroyed. So what we see a lot of runners like Pharest do there is wait until they all spawn in, then C-dash across the room, which kills any remaining light seeds, and then immediately turn around and fire a Shade Soul, which should double hit Broken Vessel there.
Yeah, and Broken Vessel is a boss that we are pretty capable of beating up handily, because...
Pharest on 1 health, though.
Oh, geez. Well, there we go.
Okay.
I'm glad I held my words for a second there. Only 525 hit points, which is fairly low compared to the amount of damage our spells do. And that headbang attack is one that we can sort of just D-Dark through. However, yeah, actually, I've actually seen a lot of runners that I've commentated for died of Broken Vessel simply because it's a boss that has rather, I like to say, they've got hops. They have rather erratic movement. And therefore can just kind of end up where you don't want them to be. But Pharest gets his wings.
Yeah, Broken Vessel, one of those bosses that, I don't want to say it's a difficult boss, but I think most runners expect the fight to be over so quickly that they can let their guard down, and then before I'll just damage tank whatever, I'll do a lot of damage real quick, then all of a sudden it's, oh my god, I'm at 1 health right here, and don't realize that, oh my gosh, I could die to this fight still. It's still a boss in Hollow Knight, it could still kill me, so.
Right, in the end, it's very true. I think that as opposed to other bosses in this run that are, you sort of go in with the expectation of like, all right, there might be some bullying of the knight here. Broken Vessel is one where you might not be as psychologically guarded entering the fight, but thankfully, Pharest is able to make it through without a death.
Yeah, definitely. And interesting to note here was that Taco stopped to collect full soul before going into these Isma's skips.
Yeah,
could be
maybe a precaution.
Yeah, precaution so we can heal if he messes up a few times. See here. Yeah, this is a difficult.
I know. Skill. In his first run, gets second try though. That is really respectable on the spike tunnel. And I know on his first run, he probably wished he had taken some soul with him on the way. We'll do that hit
Ooh.
on the worms that Rhino mentioned.
Yeah. Ooh, he's having trouble here setting up this first acid skip. Yeah, and there's that extra soul coming in handy here.
Yeah, and thankfully
Especially
there
because
is.
oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, there is a plug sack up there that you can dream
Mhm.
mail. If you're desperately in need of soul, but it's quite out of the way and like definitely not your first choice doing these skips.
And there's a bellfly up there that can hit you for 2 damage if you're not careful as
Exactly.
well. Yeah. What I was gonna say though is especially knowing that we would like to take an intentional damage tank in this room that Taco's in to get early control. Definitely don't want to be going into here with low health because, you know, we don't want to be going through the next section with
Yeah.
1 or 2 HP. The Ravas in the
Yeah,
next
most
section can be
certainly.
giant bullies. Yeah.
That room has a bunch of RNG, and Taco has to slightly run for his life here, following that early control, but we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Taking a heal wise choice. But here's Hornet 2 from Pharest. This is a boss that can absolutely bully you with some RNG, as by whatever magical higher being spider queen powers she was born with, she could parry your spells now, which is a big waste of soul and just a clear psychological disappointment.
Yeah, definitely. Losing a Shade Soul to a parry is like one of the worst feelings as a runner because it's damage loss, it's time loss, it's soul loss. Like it's the worst. It's Hornet
Loss.
laughing in
It
your
is loss.
face. It's pain.
Yeah.
But Pharest doing a good job here. The main goal of this fight is we want to Shade Soul Hornet from far away because it makes it more likely that our Shade double hits her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
really
want
good
that
fight from
knockback.
Pharest.
It's very interesting as somebody who did a lot of nail only stuff unintentionally in her first playthrough, seeing those barbs show up at 480 HP, so like slightly about like 2/3 of the way through the run, and they gave me so much trouble trying to jump around, but we are able to just demolish them because we have a huge fireball and stuff and D-Dark
Yeah,
to get rid of
absolutely.
them. No
So
Hornet deaths this time.
you love to see it. And what we'll see from Pharest here, I presume, it's an early control technique where when we charge our nail art in this game and release it, the game gives us control back. And you just saw Pharest do it there. And it lets us skip the get up animation that the knight does, saving a couple seconds. And it's not a very difficult trick to do, so you'll see most runners do it. But
Yeah, there is unfortunately an incorrect manner of performing
yeah.
that causes a time penalty. I actually believe that happened to Taco in his last race, but
Yeah, I think we give about a 5-second time penalty, and in a non-tournament setting, that would just invalidate your run, unfortunately. But
yeah.
yeah, as a community, we decided that we don't want to disqualify somebody because they accidentally gained control half a second earlier than they're supposed to. So
Most
we just made that
certainly.
decision.
And Taco was having a bit of a bit of trouble over there with the Maulurks. However, that last Maulurk is basically a giant soul totem that you can beat up for free. Has I think close to like I think you can do close to 30 nail hits on it before it dies with nail 0. So
Yeah, it's
able
got
to
it's very
do it, but
tanky.
having a bit of trouble with base and skip here. May choose to go around if he doesn't get it soon.
Yeah, you can call me a weenie, but I don't even go for base and skip anymore. I
I mean,
literally
I
just go
think that
around.
it's even quite common among top runners. I know Axe in his 49 attempt, and like Axe often, I don't think Axe ever goes for it. So
No, it's one of those that it's one of those things like Pogax where yes, it saves time, but it only saves 2 seconds versus the other way if you do them both optimally. So for a lot of runners, it's like, do I really want to lose 10 seconds trying this late in the run for maybe 2 seconds if I do it optimally? So totally understandable why some runners don't.
Exactly. And here's Broken Vessel from Taco doing that second headbang. Broken Vessel can headbang
Well
up to
done.
3 times, but usually we only see 1 or 2 of them simply because we get the health done so fast. But yeah, real nice fight from Taco. Able to get through it just fine, and we'll go grab his wings. And here's Pharest heading through sort of the quiet part of the run, Cyclone Slash. Gonna say hi to Nailmaster motto here.
Yeah, I personally refer to this section of the run as running errands. It's very just, it's not, I don't like to call it boring, but it's not a very exciting segment. It's just walking to go get Cyclone Slash, so.
I mean, I've long thought to myself, you know what, if I was ever gonna do an IL, I would do Cyclone Slash IL,
Oh, yeah.
simply because of the raw confusion of simply sea dashing around King's Pass
Oh my
as an
god.
individual level. Errand Knight, the sequel. You only get to access King's Pass.
But next, we'll be coming out to a part of the run that's much less boring. Well, Taco heading over to Hornet 2, and Pharest heading over to Umu.
Umu
So
is our favorite, least favorite, no matter what. Umu is an orange jellyfish. I have created pastas claiming that Umu is merely offering you friendship when they provide an extra attack or something of the like, but it can be quite infuriating for these runners, especially in all skills here. We're going to be really trying for this one cycle. There's a pretty specific setup, and there is a setup you can do when Umu gives you an extra attack, which is a 20% chance, I believe. But it's a lot more difficult to get a one cycle on Umu, and if you miss a one cycle, it's about a 19-second time loss, so it can be really painful.
Yeah, and whether or not Umu decides to give us an extra attack is based on how much Umu moves in its previous few attacks. So, like, the game code is essentially checking, has Umu moved X distance yet, before it says, okay, now it's time for damage cycle. And unfortunately, the amount that Umu moves is complete and total RNG. There's nothing that the runners can really do about it. I personally am of the belief that losing a really good run to Umu RNG is like a rite of passage in speedrunning in this game. It's very unfortunate, but it's bound to happen at one point or another.
I mean, it's certainly true. Every category that beats the game must fight Umu, as we need to go beat up Monomon and abolish science forever. But yeah, it can be quite painful, so we'll see. Because also there's that attack that you just saw on Pharest screen is the fast attack. Getting another one, so hopefully we'll see 2 fast, 1 slow, because that's optimal. And Taco's taking a safety bench for Hornet 2. Wise choice if you are not experienced with the fight or just feeling like it's the comfy option in a race setting.
Really interesting setup there from Pharest. I like that. I don't know if he did not get the one cycle. No, no. So what happened there was Umu was not out of bounds yet on the 4th nail hit. So I would bet it was the first fireball that didn't double.
That is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, he gets a really quick 2nd cycle though. He got 2 quick attacks, it looked like, so that's the best backup you can hope for.
Lucky RNG there. But still quite annoying. As getting Umu out of bounds is necessary, but also it's difficult because what the heck? And with Umu all the way in the wall, you can't tell exactly right away, so it can be just like, ugh.
Yeah, and it's probably one of the most frustrating things about practicing and learning that one cycle is unless you use debug mod to zoom out, it's very difficult to see what went wrong because Umu's off screen, out of bounds. We can't really see what's going on.
Absolutely.
It's incredibly frustrating to miss a one cycle and just be like, I have no idea what went wrong.
Yeah.
But Taco...
Hornet 2 has been going on for a while. I have been seeing several parries. So maybe Taco's getting a bit bullied by some RNG here. Or just taking the fight slightly slower as needed. But yeah, there's Hornet 2 from Taco. Nice work. As Pharest cancels science by getting the Monomon.
I love it. Yes. So we'll see here Pharest leaving Archives to head over for Great Slash, another spell that we're not charged 800 G, or a nail art we're not charged 800 Geo for. Pharest not going for the left side Archives exit. It's a fairly new discovery that if you C-dash across there and leave Archives at the left side, it actually saves a little bit. But most runners, I mean, it's not a big enough time difference that it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's just, it's also just the comfort of, hey, this is kind of what I've learned and this is what I'm feeling,
yeah,
right?
Definitely.
But we take that bench at Archives. We're going to save and quit back there when it's time for us to go do, go begin our trek into Queen's Gardens. We end up going through Overgrown Mound, but for now, this is sort of this is a very movement-based split. I know it is a fan favorite of some. This is the Great Slash split. We will be heading up through Green Path and towards what some call, and what definitely for me was the Green Path of Pain.
The Green Path of Pain.
Which is the platforming to Shio's hut.
I like that.
And yeah, very, very movement-based overall.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm primarily my heart rests with any percent in Hollow Knight, but I gotta be honest. I think just the Great Slash split here that Pharest is in might be my favorite split or segment in any of the categories I've ran in Hollow Knight. It's fun. It's very movement heavy. There's a lot of cool optimizations, and there's not really a lot of RNG that can kill the segment for us. So definitely,
Yeah,
as you said, a fan
exactly.
favorite.
I think it's just one of those splits where, I mean, also you're visiting what is the favorite nail master of many,
Hmm.
Shio. You get a pleasant painting lesson. Shout out to those who run Happy Couple Percent,
Yes.
the speed run where you get Shio his man as quickly as possible.
Man, would you hate me if I told you in my casual playthrough I murdered the nailsmith in cold blood?
Did you know?
I had no idea. No, I literally didn't know.
No, then I can't blame you at all. See,
Yeah, I
I
had
knew
no
midway
idea.
through the game, I just became too interested in reading all of the wiki and
Oh,
found out. I
ah,
spoiled pretty much all of it for myself, so I was like, no death. But I did end up killing the nailsmith for
oh,
the
no.
achievement, but
Yeah.
only
So
once.
my casual playthrough, I did completely blind. I didn't look up a guide. I didn't look up any help. I didn't look at any YouTube. Like I'm like I want no help or anything. So the nailsmith's like, yeah, man, if you could just like come outside and kill me, that'd be great. I'm like, okay, sure, if that makes you happy. And I did it.
Weird request, but okay.
I know, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if
probably
you,
wouldn't have murdered if I knew.
yeah, not a choice that I feel like most players would make if they were aware. But thankfully, on every subsequent playthrough, you can lead the nailsmith and Shio to live a very happy and prosperous life together, creating all sorts of art. So it's good.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
there's Pharest will be heading into Overgrown Mound with what I believe is the most confusing arena in the game. Not because it is inherently confusing in its design, but because Team Cherry just really decided that we needed to fight. Oh, too high on the C dash. We needed to fight a bunch of squits to get this spell. And so we will, and we'll do our best at it, and it's pretty good, but it is just a bit of an odd enemy choice, in my opinion, for a large arena.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of squits. The benefit to runners is the squits spawn in the exact same locations every single time you do this arena. So with good movement and rehearsal, it becomes a bit of a choreographed fight here, knowing the movements to do. You'll
Yeah,
see Pharest making very quick work of this. Yeah, really, really nice mound. That was
right.
about
And I
as
mean, the other good news is
textbook as
they
you can
die
make
in
it.
two nail hits and get absolutely demolished by any spell we have. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but still really good from Forest showing, yeah, showing the choreography right there.
Yeah, that should be that mound that Forest just had should be saved forever and shown to every runner that wants to learn that mound because that was perfect.
Yeah, really good execution right there.
Yeah.
And it is important to remember that Forest has only been running this category for about 2 months,
Hmm.
which obviously with his other Hollow Knight experience, he has quite the leg up, but is still so impressive. That's definitely not something you're doing in any percent.
No, definitely not. Yeah, going into the Hera split now, which is a fairly volatile split. There's a lot of things that can hit us here, a lot of things that can kill us, unfortunately, including 3 dark rooms that we have to traverse.
Yes, it can be really tough. And obviously, there are just a lot of things that can happen that aren't a death but are pretty cursed. For example,
Definitely.
upon arriving to distant village, you can take a
Oh,
fall and have to do an extra dark room to get up. I have unfortunately seen that happen to two of the runners I've
oh
commentated. It
no.
was a very sad time. Um, but for now, we're going through Queen's Gardens. This is just sort of our fastest access point to Deep Nest, as it is in any percent. And so you'll just sort of see Forest going. But yeah, once we get into Deep Nest, we will be in the dark and going through 3 dark rooms. And it's just, you just really want to get them right first try because on the second go around, the spike floors have fallen out. You're taken back to the start of the room, and things are just somewhat less forgiving.
Yeah. And to note, Taco on our other screen here didn't get the 1 cycle, but it didn't look like he was going for it, judging by the damage rotation he went for. He's 1 fireball away, I
No.
think. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so still very smooth.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think Taco being a newer runner, not everybody goes for the 1 cycle. It's sort
Hmm.
of up to you when you want to learn it. But in the end, a very nice 2 cycle, good execution and everything. So will be able to. They're about 5 minutes apart at this point, but Taco, yeah, powering through it, and serious props to him so far for not taking a single death. Honestly, there's been just such significant improvement because when I first commentated for Taco, I believe he had 5 deaths in the run. So it just goes to show that even if he's a little rusty, he has put a ton of work into this category. And yeah, Pharest getting into Distant Village, no falls, no problems in the dark rooms.
Yeah, definitely. And unlike any percent or low percent, we can actually skip almost the entirety of Beast Den, just like Pharest did by going up this little tunnel, which requires wings to get into. So, which is again why any percent and low percent can't do it. But that skips the entire trap bench animation. It skips having to go through the entirety of it, and lets us get right up to Hera, which is the only reason we're really here.
Yeah, we are going to say hi to Hornet's mom, and when I say hi, I mean we are going to delete her from existence.
That's right.
We do not have time to stop and apologize to Hornet, which is unfortunate, but we will be able to leave her to sort of sit there and contemplate.
I always give a quick condolence when I'm doing runs. I mean, I say it out loud. I just say, "Hey, Hornet, sorry I murdered your mother," you know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's much better, in my opinion, than any percent, because at least we fight Hornet and get her permission in this category, as opposed to any percent where we're just like, we don't even see Hornet again, and we just sort of show up in Green Path, hey, gonna kill your mom, bye, okay. So this is a lot better.
Yeah. Well, as long as we have Hornet's permission to do it, I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure she understands.
As opposed to the white lady who's literally like, you, go get the bad ending. That's what I want for you. You got this.
That's right. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So that's the last bit of Geo we needed in this run. You only need 250 to get out of Distant Village here with the Stag Station, and then we're set for the rest of the run. But there's still some
loaded.
Yeah, I don't know how we got so much Geo, but it definitely helps. But all we have left are the segments in Abyss. We have Shade Cloak with the Sibling Climb, which is a highlight of that segment. And then a fairly straightforward split with Abyss Shriek. Wait, did I say Shade Cloak or Abyss Shriek on the first one? Either way, Shade Cloak.
Yeah, you said Shade Cloak.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. That's why I need you to back me up here, because I can't talk right now.
That's what team commentary is all about.
Agreed. That's what team commentary is about. And then, of course, the Abyss Climb, which is a super fun movement section of this run that most runners really enjoy or hate.
Here we go. Knock knock joke number 2 for the Abyss store. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Menderbug.
Menderbug who?
Mend your own business and stop bugging me.
But
thank you, Slorn, as always.
Thank you, Slorn.
I actually do not mind being bugged at all about anything at any time. Ooh, nice save from Taco there.
Nice save, yeah.
That single portion of those C dashes was what deterred me from going to see Shio till the end of my playthrough.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Pharest here taking a fall. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, now you got the giant mob of siblings after you. Oh, gosh.
There's so many.
Oh, gee.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah, and it's funny because we can take 3 hits here before we die, but even taking 1 hit just mentally is very nerve-wracking as a runner. Like, oh my god, like I just took a hit. Like, oof, I better be careful.
And especially a fall like that can just be so brutal mentally as well, because Pharest was pretty high up already and then just sort of had to restart. So yeah, it's once again, it's showing that sort of that experience, that cool head that you have as a veteran, where it's like, yeah, I've seen it. Even if any percent is his main category, still just able to work.
Yeah, definitely. And I often say that being a good speedrunner is just as much mental as technical, if not more. So really good on Pharest to stay focused there and not lose control. Something that can happen very easily there.
Yeah, most certainly. And now we're gonna, Pharest will head over to Abyss Shriek at this point as Taco heads over to Howling Wraiths. So yeah, both of them are just going to be sort of C-dashing around for a bit, and then Taco will hop up and kill some squits.
Yeah. Getting extra sil. Yeah, I always like going into this mound with three hits, so makes sense.
Yeah, really nice.
So we'll see what strategy Taco goes for here. Nice.
Yeah,
Very
Pharest
well
grabbing
done
a
from
bit
Taco.
streak. Yeah, really nice. Both
Really well
both
done.
players showcasing skill in the Howling Race split.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very well
this
done.
is a bit streak. This is going to be our weapon of choice against THK, the Hollow Knight, our final boss. Hey, that's that's a really great sync.
That's
Race
cool.
and streak. You'll love to see it, you
You
know.
really do.
But Shriek with Shaman does it hits. Shriek is a multi-hit spell
Hmm.
in the same way that Dive is. But there are 4 possible hits, and each one with Shaman does 30. So at 120 damage, if you get all your hits in, it is a very high-powered weapon. And even though it's a bit awkward to use against a ground-based boss like THK, it is
Ooh.
just so much better than anything else.
Pharest having a ridiculous climb right now, yeah. He had one little
Yeah,
slip up, but aside from that,
so
really
smooth.
showcasing some movement. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, this is one of the most popular individual levels. Yeah, people have this insanely optimized down to 30 seconds of just consistent movement. And it's honestly just such a beautiful thing to watch because it shows mastery of all of the different types of movement we get here.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's that little warp. We do a nice little damage warp in 1-2-2-1 there from Taco. And yeah, Forest will be heading to Hidden Station and back to Dirtmouth to face the Hollow Knight.
Yeah, and you were saying too that Shriek does so much damage, and a lot of people wonder, well, why don't we get it earlier? And unfortunately, it's so far out of the way
Yeah.
that it doesn't save enough time to be worth how far out of the way it is. In all skills, we need to pick it up just because of the rules of the category. We need to get all the skills. So for THK, if we have it, we may as well use it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know in the very early days of the true ending category, there was desire to create. Oh, that was a great Superman.
Yeah, nice.
Urge. There was desire to create a Shriek route, but it was simply too out of the way. You have to get King's Brand, you have to get Wraiths, which is also kind of awkward. Oh my goodness, this is hilarious.
I'm gonna guess
And
Pharest isn't on PB pace.
yeah, no, that's not something you do on
Yeah.
PB pace in the
No,
slightest,
no.
but considering that he's gonna surpass his PB in about 30 seconds time-wise, yeah, that's a Superman night type of thing to do.
So yeah, doing an optimal THK fight is, I mean, THK is definitely much easier than other categories in all skills because we're so powered up. We have all the spells, we have all the nail arts, we can just do so much damage. But getting an optimal fight involves staying ridiculously close to THK, like right underneath THK, and using Shriek because there's not a lot of horizontal range on Shriek. We see Pharest actually using, oh, that was really cool, the D-Dark into Shriek there, using the eye frames.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, because there is sometimes you can have issues on 1-2-2-1 with shrieking like directly twice in a row. It can eat your first shriek.
Yeah.
So yeah, wise choices right there. And with THK already into the 3rd phase, Pharest, yeah, really just looking super clean. Continuing.
He's waiting for the scream. He's waiting for the scream skip. That's why I can tell by the way he's moving.
Yeah, unfortunate you missed it, but was in kind of an awkward position. You need to be inside THK's head to get it, but nonetheless, Pharest gracefully floating down from the ceiling and becoming the Hollow Knight.
And we're still gonna get a 51. That's a really good time for a race. It's really good.
Really respectable. They're both focusing at the same time, actually. With Taco destroying the final Dreamer as Pharest destroys the final boss.
Yeah, there's
51-57, super respectable for the race setting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in my mind, anybody who's under 52 for a race setting is just really good at this run and really understands.
Very talented.
Yeah. So on the other screen, though, we see Taco now going to head over to what we just saw Pharest do, which is head into the Abyss, pick up Shade Cloak, do the Sibling Climb. pick up Abyss Streak, and then do the final Abyss climb before going over to beat up THK.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, in the end, for Taco, I don't think he's on anything close to PB pace, but this will be a fairly good run from him simply because no deaths and overall some pretty good play, especially for not having run this in, according to him, a fair bit due to life stuff and
Yeah,
busyness factors.
definitely.
So
What is
yeah,
Taco's
you really
PB
love to
again?
see
Because
it.
I know his
Um,
actual PB isn't on the leaderboards yet.
58:30.
58:30. Okay. Well, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah,
See.
exactly. You never know, but
Mhm.
yeah, so Pharest will sort of chill out, and then both of them will be in attendance for our interview once they're both done. But for now, we just get to focus on Taco's lovely sea dashing and what will surely be an exciting time in the abyss.
Is Taco on PB? Yeah, I'm not sure if Taco's on PB, but yeah.
Yeah, if anybody in chat is interested in doing like a little research operation and finding his splits, I would be most interested. But yeah, I'm guessing not, but I simply can't be sure, as I have not watched his PB run
Mm-hmm.
or seen the
Nope.
splits of late. So
Yeah, his PB is not on
yeah,
speedrun.
that is the
No.
other difficulty is that yeah, Taco has not uploaded a PB to
Yes.
speedrun.com in quite a bit.
So finally, after a bit of filler, we do see Taco coming to the sibling climb here, which again really spooky because the siblings do 2 damage to us with every hit. So, oh,
Yeah,
there's
as you
one
just saw.
taking a fall.
I have always enjoyed Quacksilver's expression of this, which is that the sibling climb is very momentum based. If you start out and you're
Oh,
feeling it
geez.
and you're like, I got this, it's good, but it can get really scary the second you lose that momentum. And thankfully, getting through with only one
Oh,
hit.
yeah.
Um,
I
I
can
see a question
tell
from
from like,
chat.
what's up?
Oh, that's just brief question from chat. We'll interview Forrest once Taco's done. We'll interview both of them at the same time.
Yeah. But I can usually tell right from the position of the first 2 or 3 shades if I'm going to have a good climb or not. Like if they're in bad positions, I'm like, well, I guess we're just chalking this up to time loss.
Yeah, actually, something I
Yeah.
learned listening to Sierra commentate was that the drift of the shades is actually RNG. So
It is.
that can be really something that just sort of does not help you at all. It looks like, yeah, according to Rixian,
A little
yes, thank you
behind.
for your research, good sir. It appears Taco is slightly behind PB Pace. So if there's like a really nutty THK fight or something, we could see that. But this will probably be an honorable run at the
Yeah,
very least.
definitely. Yeah, so Taco just not a whole lot left to go. Just has to make his way over, pick up Abyss Shriek, which is the final skill we get in all skills, and
What a
then it's
good
just climb
skill.
THK. I know, right? It's so
I
great.
was playing some randomizer today and I fought Soulmaster with Shaman Shriek
Oh,
and it was just
jeez.
so funny.
I
It
bet that
was
fight
just
was over
It
fast.
was hilarious. It was the shortest fight I had ever had, and just bim bam boom. And then in the second phase, you just do it once and he dies. So
Oh gosh,
yeah,
that's wild.
120 damage is no joke.
Yeah. So, fun fact about this room is that you can actually trigger this Abyss Street cutscene pretty much the frame you enter the entire room. You don't need to be in the middle by that platform there. Um, but it actually is in fact faster to go to the middle of the room manually, because if you don't, the game like puts you into a little void ball and then slowly moves you to the middle of the room, and it's a lot slower than just jumping there
Oh, that's
ourselves.
so I did not know that. Wow,
Yep.
that is new information for me.
Which part of it?
Thank you. That I want to find a video of that. That just sounds so funny to me. It's like the void's like, come over here to this fun chair that we made for you. Like,
Yeah, you can do it like literally at the very entrance of the room, like if you're barely even in the
wow.
room, and it'll still trigger.
Huh.
But a lot of runners used to go for that because like, okay, like that's the optimal way to do this. I want to be at the absolute edge of the room to trigger the cutscene, but it actually makes the cutscene longer than if you were to just go to the middle of the room by yourself.
Yeah,
So
it's
good
just
fact to
faster
know,
to
but
to dash dash.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that's really funny. I mean, I know that
Right?
some folks on their casual playthrough who did blind playthroughs just were confused entirely by the Abyss Shriek room. I went in knowing what was going on, but I like the fact where if you're just sort of doing Howling Race willy-nilly, it's like, "You did it! That's good enough. Now come
That's
over and
right.
get your spell."
Yeah.
Pretty good Abyss climb from Taco
Yeah.
as well.
Not too many hiccups, really.
Hazard respawn can be quite the bully there, because it's based on where you touch the ground, and if you're Abyss climbing optimally, there's not much ground touching you're seeking to do, so you
Yeah.
can get respawned really
It's a lot
far
of
down.
pogos, a lot of wall jumps, not much ground touching, as you said.
Yeah. And so 56, 56 heading into Dirtmouth. This is
Shoutouts.
definitely not going to be a PB, but it will be a real good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Most likely sub hour. Yeah.
There's another instance of that nail art early control we just saw Taco do, where you charge a nail art while falling through the well there, and if you release it while falling, it stalls the knight in the air for a little bit, gives us back control, and it skips the hard fall animation when we land.
Yeah. I know a lot of runners really enjoy the fact that we use all three nail arts as things to help us move or fall in different parts of the run. I
Yeah,
mean, you see that
definitely.
Great Slash in the well, you see the Cyclone Slash in the well, you
Hmm.
got Crystal Peaks dash slash. It's a fun time. I mean, that's the coolest part about all skills is that we actually use all the skills at different times. Um, and there's really not one that we find absolutely no use for.
Yeah, and that's why all skills is often regarded as a very good beginner category, because there aren't really many things that can outright just kill your run.
Yeah.
We see a lot. It introduces runners to a lot of the game, all of the different spells, all the movement, all the nail arts. So it's a very good beginner category to introduce people to a wider world, if you will, of speedrunning Hollow Knight.
Yeah, and I mean, you will see a lot of folks in the tournament for whom all
Oof.
skills is their first Hollow Knight category.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh, I'm tacos on one
Oh,
mask.
oh, you hate to see that.
Jinkies. So that is quite unfortunate to take a death to THK there. Does automatically respawn at the Black Egg bench. That's why we don't need to take that bench heading
Mm-hmm.
in, because you just kind of get put there, which is very sweet of Team Cherry to do. But we'll fight the Hollow Knight again, hopefully to more success this time, though if things go quite badly, I may need to go for an anti-curse and just be really mean.
Yeah, and again, like, oh, taking 2 hits already. This doing this fight optimally is actually very difficult. It's very difficult to stay that close to THK and go for the shrieks without getting
Yeah,
hit.
I mean, I really hope that Taco dies at this point. I think that
Hmm. Of
their
course,
play this entire run has been just despicable. They've done nothing right.
it's not working, Herm. The anti
No, it's
curse, it
not. I
ain't
can't do it.
working.
I don't have I don't have anything prepared. Oh boy, this is terrible.
We're
I
gonna see
think
attempt
that
number 3 from Taco here.
I think that chat Virgil, I need backup, please. Please
We need the
anti-curse him as
anti curse
well.
back. Yeah.
Virgil will help. Virgil had an effective anti-curse in her last race. Um, yeah, I think that I hope Taco ends up on 0 masks very soon.
Oh man, I'm the worst commentator cursor like ever. I've commentator cursed every single racer that I've commentated this entire tournament, I believe, at one point or another. So
Oh my lord.
I'm just gonna keep my
Yeah, I
mouth shut
used to
during this
have
fight.
that quite bad. With Yeah, we hope Taco fails. Virgil and I both do. I
Oh,
had
oh,
that for a while with people dying to Broken Vessel. I do distinctly remember.
okay, you can heal here, Taco.
Yeah, see, Taco really failed, and it worked out quite
That's right.
poorly for them. With people dying to Broken Vessel, I do remember being all, "Oh yeah, people have died to Broken Vessel, but third time's a charm."
No.
Oh no, this
Yeah.
is just tough. I mean, you really do hate to see it. THK is such a difficult fight with using that shriek. Pharest really
Yeah.
sort of made it look a lot easier than it is. Because THK, especially, we've been seeing a lot of those dashes. You do not love those from THK, and the parries as well. Just several attacks that do no good.
Mhm.
Taco thanking Virgil in chat for the anti-curse. We may have to explain that after the run.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is Taco aware that it's the
Yeah,
anti?
I don't think I'm not sure if he is. As Spicy versus Taco was the very first race I commentated. It was before I did any anti-cursing. Oh god, that is another death.
I appreciate the persistence
The
though.
perseverance. Yeah. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
admirable because in the end, like, it's there's definitely, I mean, I've seen several runners this tournament who have taken a death to THK and just said, "Nah, I'm done." Like, and
Right.
that's respectable, you know what I mean? But I really, really admire the commitment here.
I believe in Taco. This is the one right here.
Yes,
Maybe
this
this
is
won't be a commentator curse. This is gonna be the fight.
this is the one. Let's see it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
There's the first scream.
Phase 2.
Not healing. I
Hours.
love it.
And there's a second scream. Okay,
There we go.
now there's some healing opportunities available. I'm
Yeah.
thinking yes. I'm thinking positivity is the way to go. Like, you got this,
Yeah.
Taco. Show him
Yeah.
show
So
him your chops, man. Like, you
for
got
those
this.
who don't know, during the self-stab phase for THK, no matter what attack we hit him with, it only does 1 damage per hit. So that's a pretty good time to heal because it's not like we're missing out on much damage anyway.
Yeah, it's the classic. It's like, you can't hurt me as much as I can hurt myself.
Final
With
scream.
THK. Final stream. Let's see it.
There we
Let's do
go.
this. Oh, very nice. Okay, positivity was the way. Taco will
Yeah.
finish it out. Excellent perseverance. Big GGs, and then we'll bring both of them in for an interview.
Yeah.
Woohoo. Okay, so yeah,
So
Pharest
let's
is in here, and then Taco should be joining in a hot second. Have to explain the anti-curse. Yes, but here, I'll bring them in. Hey, folks.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going pretty decent.
Hello.
Hey, Pharest.
Hey.
GGs to both of y'all.
Yeah, so GG's to both, and congrats to Pharest on the win.
Is that a PB for you, Taco? Or...
Oh, no.
No.
My PB is currently 58-30.
Okay.
I was close to PB until I started goofing around at the Hollow Knight fight. For some reason, I thought it would be a fun idea to just not jump in the fight at all and only use Shadow Dash. That didn't really work out.
Yes,
But yeah,
I think
it was a lot of
as
fun.
you saw from Virgil in the chat, that was not a message of hate. It was a message of Virgil and I trying to anti-curse you by being mean, ironically.
I got
but
it.
we
I got
ultimately
that.
found that kindness was the way.
All good.
Good. Yes.
Yeah, so one question I always like to ask the runners, Taco, you were in chat, so I believe you were watching the race as well, but Pharest, were you watching the race, and did that affect your strategy at all, or affect how you approach the run?
I'm not even watching at my splits, so no, I wasn't watching the race.
Nice. And Taco, it looked like you were, in fact, involved watching the race and whatnot, and did that affect how you approched your run at all? Knowing,
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It changed the way how I stopped in the middle of the run to chat a bit.
Sure.
And also, I just saw how Pharest, he got ahead little by little, but surely enough, at the end, he was like over 10 minutes ahead. Pretty crazy stuff. So, very solid run, Pharest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well played.
When I was at Hornet 1 with 2 HP, it was the exact same situation than last time when I died, and I was like, no, not again, like, not twice in a row. You can't die to Hornet 1 twice in a row, like.
Yeah, we were very scared watching that because, again, we knew that you died to Hornet 1 in one of your other races, so... Yeah,
Probably.
I was gonna ask quick, did either of you have any good gold splits, or have any, I guess, fast segments that you were really happy with this run?
Not really. It was most of the time in the red for me because
Okay.
I try to be safe. Like in Sanctum, for example, I don't know many time I healed, and it was pretty much worth it because I got damaged a lot. But
Sure.
For me, in this... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And for Hornet 2, same. I played really safely because I wasn't feeling it, so it was better than dying.
For me, basically, I felt it was a pretty good run all around. I didn't die until the very end, which is good. But I feel like where I lost the most time was because I just had those little optimizations that I didn't do. One part that was really good, I think, was the one arena with the annoying flies, where I just popped off a little bit. I don't think I've ever done that one in a race before.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Both of you had
both
really,
of you were
really
super
clean.
impressive.
Yeah, your Wraiths mounds were really good. Especially, Taco, your Wraiths mound was incredibly clean.
Yeah, that was really cool. Felt really good. Also, it seems like I always keep finding new bugs in these races. Like last time I had the Soulmaster, vibing out.
Oh, yes, I remember the vibing Soulmaster. That was terrible.
Yeah. This time after the Watch Nights, when I came back down, the camera started freaking out for some reason. I don't know what it is with me glitches, but
yeah.
I think they're calling you to do some NMMS runs, maybe. They're calling your name.
Maybe I should look into that.
Yeah, so were there any, for both runners, were there any sections of the run that you think, maybe you didn't give it your best and you think you want to practice a little bit more before your next race in this competition?
Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight? I think that's a fair answer.
It's a good section of the run to practice.
Yes. Yeah. How about you, Pharest?
It's still Sanctum. I'm still having a lot of troubles in Sanctum, and maybe Great Slash too. I'm not happy with my Great Slash splits for the moment.
Yeah, Great Slash is a very, very technically challenging split, so I can totally understand that.
For sure. So from the chat, somebody wants to know, Pharest, are you reassured to return to victory?
Yes.
Very good. Makes sense. Yeah, we have 2 more rounds in our Swiss here, and then we'll go into playoff for, I believe, top 16 it is now.
Yeah, correct, top 16. I don't think I have any more questions. How about you, Herm?
No, I think that you pretty much covered the bases, so unless folks have other shout-outs or things that they need to say, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, before we wrap it up, Taco and Pharest both, are there any last words you want to say or shout-outs you want to give before we call it a wrap here?
I want to give a shout-out to Sly. He's kind of a cool guy.
Sly? Gotcha.
Very good.
Yeah. And how about you, Pharest? Anybody you'd like to shout out or any last words you'd like to say?
Well, thank you, Taco, for the race and you for commentating.
Oh, thank you too, Pharest. Thank you all for organizing this. Super cool.
Definitely.
Yes, cool as always, thanks to the SpeedGaming folks for putting this all on and making it such a great event for everybody. Shoutouts to 56 for the load normalizer.
That's right.
When in doubt, shoutouts to 56. And yeah, thank you to the runners and the chat and my co-commentator for being incredibly cute.
Oh, it was a pleasure, Herm. It was a pleasure.
But,
yeah, and to both the runners, it was a pleasure to commentate, and best of luck to both of you in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you,
too.
guys. Thank you.
Yes, most certainly. Okay, so with that, we will wrap it up here, and we will see you on another episode of Hollow Knight All Skills Racing coming very soon. Yes, have a lovely afternoon, morning, evening, everybody.
Yeah.
Adios.
Thank you all. Take care.
All right. Thanks. See you guys.
See ya.